Nasty Hang him from the yard. Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to the one, the only Rumboyz Fantasy Network. And this is your favorite, pretty much we do this twice a week, so bi-weekly series, the Rum Report, here live with episode 3. This time I have Jordan Love joining us from Rumboyz.com. What is good, J Love? Oh, now you got to unmute himself. He muted himself for the intro. Just hit the microphone on the screen there.
Might be technical difficulties. My computer was geeking.
There we go. All good. What's good, bro?
Nothing much. Just got out of school, getting ready for this draft season.
Hell yeah. Draft season is upon us. We're going to touch a little bit on that. We are going to be taking you guys behind the draft through our Sportscaster exclusive series. So make sure you guys check us out on sportscaster.com and you download the Sportscaster app on Apple iOS. And then, of course, we record this series on Spotify, YouTube, Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, Sportscaster, you name it. We're literally freaking everywhere when it comes to filming this particular show. Let's go ahead and get into it, bro. Cheers to me. Cheers to you, all the Rum boys and girls. What it do, dilly. It's 5 o'clock somewhere, right? In this case, where I'm living, it literally is 5 o'clock somewhere.
Yeah, it's 5 o'clock here.
Yeah, I was about to be like, yeah. Let's dive right into it. First thing I want to talk about, especially with the draft coming up. By the way, did you see, before we get into this first topic, let's make this the first topic. This one is just going complete off script. Did you see that they are going to drive the players out on a boat to the stage for draft day?
Hey, I love it. Like, I love it.
It's completely over the top. I mean, how much money is going into make this happen?
This is a life-changing moment in these kids' lives. They're becoming millionaires on end off of one day. Make it big.
I straight up edit Sportscaster on Twitter. I was like, at Sportscaster, do you need a live draft analyst? Like, if this is in the budget, send me. Let's dive right into it. So, first topic that we got to discuss, will Joe Burrow turn the Bengals around at the 101 overall pick?
I don't want to jump that far. I mean, I'm going to go conservative with this. I think he's going to be a great quarterback, honestly. He has all the traits to be a top-level quarterback. He reads defenses. He's mobile. He gets out of the pocket. He makes the big plays. But more importantly, he limits his mistakes. That's something that has been proven when he plays. While that is a limited sample, he likes to check down while he can also spread the ball downfield. He doesn't push the ball in spots where it's not needed to be, and I think the Bengals just need that. They're not a big franchise destination. They make no trades. I think they literally made 2 trades in the past decade.
Yeah.
So when you're sitting here at the number 1 overall pick and you can get a guy of this caliber, you just have to do it.
So with the Joe Burrow thing, there have been mumblings of the Bengals possibly trading away the pick. And then right after those mumblings, there was that the organizations came out and they said, we're not going to trade the pick. And then after those rumors came, you know what, we don't really know what we're going to do with the number 1 overall pick. Listen, fucking Cincinnati, get your head so far out of your asses, please, okay? Because right now you're just looking around and everything is dark all around you. And I get that it's a scary fucking place. So just pull your heads from out of there. You should have known what you were going to do with this pick. Like week 9, week 8, you should have known. Like you should have known once clearly the Dolphins did not get the message of tank for Tua, and they started winning games. You should have known what you're going to do with this pick. Cincinnati, hang on, get Joe Burrow. You didn't get rid of AJ Green. So if you're trying to use, then this is your leverage that you use. Take the kid, put him out there on the field, let him spin, see what he's got. You guys got to go and draft him. He's such an Ohio guy, J-Love. He's such an Ohio guy.
Yeah, he's from Ohio. I mean, it fits. But the thing that gets me is they benched Andy Dalton, who's been their guy for 7 years. You put in Ryan Finley, he's clearly not it. Like, I know you interviewed him. He's one of your guys. He's not it.
He's not it.
Bro. So at that point, once you realize that Ryan Finley's not showing any signs of being that guy, at that point, hey, we're going to have the number 1 overall pick. We're taking a quarterback.
I'm going to put it like this. I knew that Ryan Finley wasn't the guy sitting in that room with them when the second that he opened his mouth, he went completely off topic of what my question was and started talking about the spin of the ball and shit. I'm like, yo, that is not, I did not ask anything. I did not ask you to show me your QB IQ right now. That's when I kind of knew. Cincinnati, go after Joe Burrow. J-Lo just mentioned Finley's not the guy. We all knew that Finley wasn't the guy. He just looks like a mouth breather, bro. He just looks like one of those guys who just sits in the film room and is like, what? Go get Burrow. The guy is an Ohio native. You need this, Cincinnati. How the hell you're even fulfilling seats in your stadium, I don't know. Nothing has changed in Cincinnati in the last decade, and we're entering a new decade.
I'll tell you how that feels. Joe Mixon.
And how long – football is a team sport. How long is one player out of 53 motherfuckers on a roster going to continue to put asses in seats? And that player, he has to be the one to run the ball. No, you got Cincinnati. This is your way of figuring out Joe Burrow is the way to go. What is good, Nick Howard? I see you up in the chat. I see everyone up in the chat.
It's a full Joe backfield.
Connor Burke up in here. Welcome to the Rumboyz writing crew. Make sure you guys check us out on rumboyz.com. Next topic. There was some Twitter beef after the NFC Conference Championship game between Darrelle Revis and Richard Sherman. Now, we all know this beef. This beef dates back to 2008. Jalen, I don't know if you got to catch up on this, but how are you feeling this? I mean, pretty much Revis stated that Sherman's not one of the pound for pound best corners. This, that, and the third. Stated that he doesn't follow the best guy. He disguises his skills by playing in a cover 3 scheme. Your take?
So you can bring that up on Sherman with his scheme, the fact that he doesn't follow the best corner or the best receivers, how he's scheme dependent, how he's always played in great defenses, surrounded by great players. It doesn't matter. When the lights are brightest, Richard Sherman shows up. In the playoffs, he's there. He shuts down. He's always pretty much locking down a third of the field. He's in that cover 3. That's what he does. That third deep side of the field, he's on it. And while Darrelle Revis is one of those guys that can talk to Richard Sherman because Revis Island is a thing, I think he's one of the select few that can talk down to Richard Sherman, as I think he is probably the better corner, relatively speaking. But Revis does have a point, but in the same sense, there's no point to bring it up.
Not only is there no point to bring it up. So with Revis, I feel like I said, this beef dates back to 2008. all because of something that was said back in the day when Skip Bayless and Stephen A were the cast of First Take together. It stems all the way back to then. For Revis to bring this up now in Richard Sherman's moment of pretty much fame and glory. Listen, Richard Sherman did not necessarily save the game for San Fran. They were already pummeling the fuck out of Green Bay. So it didn't matter. They were getting their shit pushed in harder than Kiara Mia by Jimmy G on a Saturday night. Okay? So look, I get where you're coming from, Revis, but this was not the moment to bring it up. If you were feeling that way, maybe you could have waited until the off season. Why take it to Twitter? Why bring up old BS? I don't get it. Look, we've all, not all of us, but for the most part, especially a lot of people that listen to this show, have put on cleats. They put on a pair of pads, and we all know that you can't really pick what scheme that you're going to line up in. Sherman can't pick the fact that he plays in a cover 3. You know, does he always follow the best receiver on the field? No, we know that's not a thing. Or else he would have been, or else he would have been every single place that Devontae Adams was. You know, with that being said, though, I just felt like Revis, you were shitting on Sherman's parade for no reason. All I gotta say.
Yeah, I agree.
So Connor Burke here, being that, guys, especially those of you that are listening, Spotify, Apple, so on and so forth, Google, this show is filmed live, and you are able to hop in our live chat on YouTube, on sportscaster.com, and through the apps as well on both those. And you can drop comments. And we have a comment here from Connor Burke, one of our own. Did y'all see Daniel Jeremiah's mock? I'm not even going to go into the rest. I'm going to let you go ahead and vent right here. J-Love, talk about it. You were talking about it before we went on air. I'm going to let you talk about it now.
I just have an issue with mainstream guys thinking that because they need to be special and because they're on this high pedestal and that they need to have a different take than everybody else, even though it's a logical take, that they need to be different. Everybody's now starting to push Jedrick Wills into that top tackle category. And now out of left field, Daniel Jeremiah, everybody's holy grail, best scout. Oh, my God. It's Mekhi Becton. He's a 6'7", 370 tackle. I'll give you that. He's a late first rounder, early second rounder. Cool. I like Mekhi Becton. I think he has a chance to become an all-pro level tackle if he's able to keep that weight down. In saying that, there's no reason to put him above Andrew Thomas, to put him above Jedrick Wills, even though I think he's overrated. Or more importantly, probably the safest tackle in this class in Tristan Wirfs. There's no reason. He's not a top 3 tackle in this class. And if Alex Leatherwood would have declared, I don't even think he's 4. There's no reason for this, and I'm just mad at people trying to be special. There's no reason.
And that is why we have our show. We have our website with our articles on it, rumboyz.com. J-Love's mock is getting ready to be released. And we're gonna have a few different like I said, we're gonna have some series breaking down film of these young guys. Let you guys know where we feel they're gonna go. But Daniel Jeremiah, you are on J-Love's shit list, sir.
Oh, he's been on it for years. 4 years.
Let's see here. Next topic that we are going to get into that is on the docket. Are the Chiefs unstoppable, bro?
This week is the tell. I mean, I think that's pretty obvious. They've gone against teams that haven't necessarily had the best defense. I know the Titans, stout defense, cool, but their offense really couldn't get it going outside of Derrick Henry. And even then, they had him pretty locked down in that second half. I thought he was about to, at halftime, I was like, okay, Derrick Henry's a second half player. He's about to go off for 100 yards in the second half and carry them. Little did I know that the Honey Badger had something else to say. I think that the Chiefs' offensive line has to become ready for this pass rush. Nick Bosa is going to be coming off that edge. The biggest X factor in this game for me is Quan Alexander. I said it when he came back. I think that they're probably going to the Super Bowl just because he really is that big of a playmaker. He's all over the field. He's great in coverage. He's a great run stopper. I have the Niners winning this game. I do, and I hate saying that. I'm a Cardinals fan. I can't root for an NFC West team. I would love it for the Chiefs to win this game. I'm sorry, Justin. I have to. But the level that this defense is playing at and outplaying a Patriots defense who throughout the first 6 games were beyond anything else we've ever seen because of the competition they played. And the Niners, playing good teams, still kept up with them, and at the end of the year, even outperformed them. And I don't see the Chiefs beating that, even though Mahomes is a maniac. Travis Kelce's been struggling with drops. Mecole Hardman looked like he got hurt a little bit last week. I know he tweaked something. Tyreek Hill, while he's been great, he's made some mental errors. It's things like that just make me side with the 49ers.
So, with that being said, stated, okay. Me personally, first I want to say that I'm going to try and refrain from dropping who I really think in my Super Bowl pick I'm going to roll with. All right. I want to make sure that you guys tune in for our Super Bowl kickoff party live stream. We're going to be doing giveaways, musical guests, all that good stuff on Super Bowl Sunday. So make sure you wake up early in the morning with Clock Management Fantasy Football and the Rumboyz Fantasy Network for that. Do I feel that the Chiefs are unstoppable? No, I don't think that they're unstoppable. Well, Mahomes, he takes a minute to wake up, okay? And against this Niners team where, Raheem Mostert, he scored 4 TDs. I mean, and every single time that he touched the ball, he was averaging anywhere between 8 to 10 yards a carry, every single time. You can't kind of play that type of lackadaisical of a first quarter against a team like the 49ers. Any team can be beat. We have seen in the past where Andy Reid kind of, falters at some point in these big games, in these big time scenarios. But it would be safe to say, and it is fairly safe to say, that that he has pretty much, I guess, in a way overcame that, and which we're going to kind of touch on that a little bit more here in the next segment, and that the players are getting enough done to where they're offsetting Andy Reid's choking abilities in big game situations. I don't know if unstoppable is the correct word, but do they stand a damn good shot? Yes. This game has opened up as a 1-point favorite for Kansas City per Westgate. With that being said, I think this is going to be a shootout. We could be looking at a Super Bowl 1-1 of either team. Make sure you guys get up with us Sunday morning for my official locked-in Super Bowl pick, February 2nd. Anything else you want to touch on that one?
No.
Yeah. Now, I did bring up something during that last segment, which was Andy Reid. Has Andy Reid overcame, I guess you could say, the choking bug?
I don't think so, in all honesty. Andy Reid still has that tendency to make a bad call, to not understand how to manage a clock in these big games. But that's Andy Reid, and he's on the sideline. The guy who's calling the plays, making the adjustments at the line, he's the one that's, if they have a chance at winning this game, which of course they do, is going to push them over that hump. And I think Patrick Mahomes is kind of outweighing the amount of drag that Andy Reid puts on this team, just because he really does carry that offense. He's the one on the field. He's the one making the plays that no one expects. And he's smart enough. I mean, we've all seen Mahomes talk, even though he has a frog-like voice. He clearly understands the game of football at a superior level. He watches film, he breaks it down, he understands game situations, and I think that can compensate for the lackadaisical job that Andy Reid does.
Hey, well, we'll see how lax he is. I feel like he's a little bit too lax, talking about getting his body ready for Miami, this, that, and the third. But we will see. We will see. Getting into our next topic. So, Jordan Love, I'm pretty much like, the quarterback, right, of the Rumboyz Fantasy Network. Would you wear George Kittle? He wore a shirtless Jimmy G shirt in his press conference, autographed by Jimmy G. Could I hook you up with one with my face on it, bro?
Hey, that's just being a good teammate, bro. Hey, that's just being a good teammate.
I don't know if I'm wearing another grown man shirtless on myself or on my body. I don't think I can pull that one off.
Hey, football locker rooms are football locker rooms. I'm gonna leave it at that.
Leave it at that. Oh my gosh, that was crazy. I was astonished. I was like, I don't know if I'd be able to do it. Aaron Hernandez might like it though. I saw your picture like, yo, that was really fucked up. That got dark, didn't it? That got dark right
He's gonna haunt you, bro. He's going to haunt you.
I'm in the middle of those documentaries, by the way. They're very good. Very good. I'm on number 2. I'm on episode 2. Was not ready for episode 1 to end the way they were. Like, what? Aaron! Speaking of Jimmy G and taking it back to the Patriots, like the way I just connected those two topics together, how much of a mistake did the Patriots make trading Jimmy Garoppolo?
I think Belichick was right. Even though they got a Super Bowl out of it, that Belichick comes right again. Brady, if you look at it objectively, 40-year-old quarterback, nearing the end of his career, progressively getting worse, arms deteriorating, and you have this guy who in practice shows up, he gets first team reps because Brady takes that time off because he's getting older, and he's shown you that, hey, I can carry this level, and then he goes on after you trade him and you get a first-round pick. Oh, no, it was a second-round pick. My bad, it was a second-round pick. He could have gotten a first-round pick, but he decided to trade him away for a second. Oh, stupid. And then he decides to trade him away, and then he does amazing. They're completely regretting it right now, especially since they need a quarterback so bad.
Like, isn't this the nature of the NFL? And isn't this just pretty much, this is almost kind of just an anomaly of him being the backup there in New England, going to San Francisco, and now suddenly being so much better, so much more progressive in San Francisco. We already knew that he was going to be great in New England. He lands in San Fran, and he lands right on his feet. I mean, of course, he overcame the injury, so on and so forth. But I'm not too sure that, if you were to put Jimmy G with that team, that Patriots team this year and replace him with Tom Brady, what happened is still probably going to happen. Jimmy G's, I'm even questioning if he was worth the money that San Francisco paid him, because this guy, he passed 6 times last week. I mean, I get that you didn't need to use your arm, but against this team in the Super Bowl, the Kansas City Chiefs, you're going to have to use your arm. Frank Clark coming in on that pass rush. So with that being said, being stated, I don't necessarily feel like the Patriots made a mistake. We don't know what Stidham is going to be. This organization has done really good of rebuilding and retooling themselves all the way from the moment that Bledsoe got hurt to bring in Brady to managing teams whenever Brady has been injured, with whoever they have had to go up and put up underneath center. It has not just been Jimmy G. We have seen other backups in a Patriots uniform go in the game for Brady, whenever Brady's been hurt. Develop what you have, let go of the past, and mainly I want to add this, Patriots fans out there, Stop sitting back and pretty much damn near mourning the loss of Jimmy G. Like, oh my gosh, like we could have had him. If we had him, we'd be in the Super Bowl. Da, da, da. Look, you have been to multiple Super Bowls in the last 12 some odd years. Like, I get the need of one of your sports team to be so great, but let it go. Let Jimmy G be great in San Fran. Let him have his own career, not have to chase down any shadows, and just be great in San Fran. And I'm gonna let it be there.
Hey, I just want to argue this right now. I understand that Jimmy Garoppolo is not the greatest quarterback. I think he's a game manager. It is what it is. But in saying that, having a game manager is better than having an unproven second year player who spent 4 years in college. It's a security blanket.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that's what Belichick was worried about, is because the past few seasons we've seen this tension growing in New England. We've seen that Brady's become unhappy. We've seen him even more so. Instead of snapping at his offensive coordinator, he's snapping at Belichick. And now all of a sudden you're looking at a team that, oh, Brady says he's intrigued in looking at the options in free agency. He moves his family out of his mansion. Oh, what's this? Now he has a chance of leaving, and we don't have a quarterback to replace him. And now you're in a dire need for that in case he doesn't return. Now, again, I'm going to go back and preface that I do think Jimmy Garoppolo is a game manager. In my opinion, he's the third quarterback in rankings in his division, with Jared Goff being last. Hot take. Yeah. I hate Jared Goff as a player. But I just think that security blanket is something that the Patriots always need, and that's the Patriot way, in a sense.
Yeah, and like I said, we saw the Stephen kid. He balled out during the preseason, and he was balling out with the 2s and 3s, So maybe there's still something there. You weren't going to be able to hang on to the kid. There was no way of you hanging on to Jimmy G. Period. A team was going to want him. He was going to get the money regardless. What were you going to do? Keep him on the bench and just hope that no one ever discovered how great he was? Like that's just not going to happen. And I don't see that.
It's honestly kind of like the Brock Osweiler situation that happened a few years ago in Denver, where he was a second-round quarterback, much like Jimmy G. Did they come out the same year?
I think so.
Oh, they might have came out the same year. Maybe it was a few years before, but basically it was a second round pick that had a big arm or had a decent arm, showed traits, played a little bit, looked good, and then all of a sudden you're looking, do we pay this guy? Do we trade him? Or do we let him walk? In the sense of the Broncos, they let him walk smartly, great decision. Yep. And as for the Patriots, they traded him away and got value. Pick your poison.
I like it. Hey, that's the way these situations work out. Kind of keeping on the talks of contracts, money, things of that nature. One of the things I find super, super interesting is, do the Titans go ahead and re-sign Tannehill? There's already talks about Mariota to Chicago, and Chicago want to do a 2 QB type committee system, so on and so forth. It sounds like Mariota is going to be out there. It sounds like Tannehill is going to be staying. But does Tennessee re-sign Tannehill? He already has $45 million guaranteed from his stint with the Miami Dolphins. Why not go for another 80? Why not make it 80, 85? What do you think the contract is looking like for Tannehill?
Going into the playoffs, I think he would have gotten a good deal on the line, 25 million, 25 mil. After the playoff stint, and I was watching the game this past week, and this one play just keeps replaying over in my mind. It's a 2nd and 6. Tannehill gets the snap. It's an easy slant route to A.J. Brown, and he just whiffs it, throws it at his knee, incomplete. And that's kind of what Tannehill reminded me of when he was playing for the Dolphins. That scares me. Personally, I would give Tannehill a contract. Not 25 mil because you have to pay Derrick Henry. You have contracts coming up. Harold Landry's a good player. You have to make a decision on Darrell Casey, Jack Conklin, Taylor Lewan just got a new deal. All these players are coming around that you have to pay, and they're going to want money. Give Tannehill a 1-year deal to prove it. Give him the money. If he comes back and has this year again, go ahead. Pay him the 27, 28 mil if he proves it and you go back to the playoffs and win games again. Just realize that you have Derrick Henry and you may not have to solely go out and pay a quarterback that much if Tannehill wants that money.
So this is where I feel opposite. And I think that this is going to be one of those more so me. I'm always with the players type of a deal, and I'm always advocating for the players type of deal. Taylor, you've already been in the league 11 seasons. Like, you taking 20, 25 mil at this point? Like hell no. That's the number that Dak should be discussing.
Dak should be like 15.
I feel it still. I mean, speaking just in terms of the league, though, I don't feel that. I mean, especially leading your team to an AFC championship game. Despite how it turned out, I get that. Oh well, it became a lot of Derrick Henry, especially towards the end of the regular season. But at the same time, it became a lot of Derrick Henry. That passing game opened up, and A.J. Brown looked phenomenal as a rookie. Corey Davis all of a sudden started catching, pass here and there, pass like, nothing impressive. But, whenever it happened, like, holy fuck, like Corey Davis, guys, look. He is someone that is being successful out of Central Michigan. So,
by the way,
he was, yeah. I've been waiting for CD to come along. Maybe it took Tannehill. I don't know. But given his experience, I am not going to say 25. I am going to say 30 mil. He's a guy that I could be like, yo, you could get the 30 mil. Because even when he doesn't have to follow the playbook exactly, he still figures out a way he was figuring out ways to get it done with Tennessee. I wasn't seeing that with that. This is a guy that I say that I would give the 30 mil to. Tannehill, step right up and get your paper.
Okay, now let me ask you this. You're the Titans. You just had this great year with Tannehill. You got to the conference championship as a 6th seed, beat all the odds, surprised a ton of people. Do you pay Tannehill the 30 mil, or do you pay Bridgewater 15 or 17?
Bridgewater's not going to leave New Orleans.
Just Bridgewater hits free agency. He's open to talking to new teams.
Saving money-wise, if I can get away with paying Bridgewater, 15 to 18, yeah, I'll pay Bridgewater 15 to 18
over Tannehill.
And I'll say, and I'll have to let be like, Tannehill, thanks, but we're moving in a different direction.
Now you see, you admitting to that is exactly my point that I was bringing up. You can get away with Bridgewater. While I do think he has a chance of being better than Tannehill this past year, Tannehill was better, clearly. QB2, by the way. QB1, actually, when it comes down to passer rating and everything like that, over Mahomes towards the end of the year, if you're just looking at passing wise.
Look at the last sample size, yeah.
But you have Derrick Henry, and Derrick Henry's wanting 15 to 17 mil this offseason. He's an unrestricted free agent. He wants his bag. And if you can save 12 mil on a quarterback and use that to pay your, in my opinion, the second best running back in the league right now, you do it.
So, and I dig that. And Derrick Henry, he just started having 1,000-yard rushing seasons, his last 2.
Mm-hmm.
So, I agree. Tennessee has the bread to where they could get away with giving Tannehill, like I said, even maybe you shave, 2 mil off that 30, and you pay him, 20. I mean, Derrick Henry, he's gonna get his 15 year regardless. In that regard, going off what you said, Taylor Lewan's not leaving. He's staying with Tennessee no matter what, hands down.
We forgot the biggest one. Logan Ryan, the best slot corner of this year, is a free agent.
Okay, yeah, Logan Ryan is going to be available.
Logan Ryan, Tannehill, Henry, Conklin, Wesley Woodyard, Darren Bates, Kamale Correa.
I still say you got to get this guy the money, and I feel like that there's one NFL franchise that'll do it. It'll be Tennessee, especially after the success that they had. Unless what you just said happens, because I feel like that's the only target. If you're Tennessee, there's only one other target that you're going after, and that would be Teddy Bridgewater. Unless you're getting Teddy B, or unless somehow by whatever miracle that Tom Brady's like, I'll come do it, like then that is, and that's not happening. That is what you're looking at, though. I say pay the man, get Tannehill his check. Let's see here. So getting on, let's go ahead really quick. Let's check out the chat, see if we got going on. Pay Derrick Henry too. They will. Titans have 28 free agents. Holy shit. Yeah, that's gonna be crazy. Well, they just went from a 6 seed to a freaking 4 seed really quick because they're not keeping all those guys. Yeah, Mariota's gonna be gone. Trying to think here. Let's slide in. We're gonna slide into our one MLB topic, and then we are going to get into we're gonna roll some ads because we gotta pay some bills, and then we'll be right back with the second half of the show. You dig? Actually, let's go ahead and pay some bills right now, and then we will be right back. Just give me 1 second so I can have this all set up. This man gonna laugh at me. Yo, look, we gotta do what we gotta do, bro. It is what it is. Alrighty, and we will be right back. Or no. There we go. You know what? Never mind. It keeps freezing and it keeps stopping. So so we tried that. That did not work. I'm glad you're laughing.
Just chilling.
He's like, I'm just chilling, bro. All good. Let's go ahead and we're gonna actually slide into the next topic then. We only got one topic in baseball right now. And let's see here. So in the MLB, Derek Jeter could possibly end up being the second unanimous Hall of Fame vote. Deservable or not, right or not, how do you feel?
I mean, he deserves it. Let's be honest. Great player. There's not too much else you can say. He definitely deserves to be a unanimous Hall of Famer. There's not much else you can say to back it up. I mean, everybody knows Derek Jeter for a reason.
Now he's also in a class with Bonds and Clemens. Jeter, I feel the only one out of his class that doesn't have the asterisk next to their name, and that asterisk I'm talking about, of course, is steroids.
Cheating.
Yeah, cheating. No form of cheating. Period. He's also So like I said, he's in a class with Clemens. He's in a class with Barry Bonds, Kurt Schilling. If he's not the unanimous vote out of all of those guys, and if there's someone that would want to give attention elsewhere and overlook. Now, I'm also the same person. It's like, well, fuck it. Baseball was the best of the best at its time period when steroid use was involved, when the cheating and steroid use was part of it. And I have no problems admitting that, no problems going on record. That was the only time that I could really remember that I was watching faithfully, other than when I'm covering it. With that being said, with that being stated, hands down, you got to select this man. I mean, come on, he had a shoe on the Jordan shoe line. Come on, guys.
That's how we're gonna measure Hall of Famers now. They had a shoe, Jordan.
Hey, look.
Who cares if they were actually good? Just a sneaker, just the kicks.
Just look. He's Derek Jeter, probably the greatest Yankee of our generation. I'm not gonna say all time, but of our generation, you gotta go ahead and vote for him.
Yeah.
So that's where I'm at with that one. Diving into the NBA, a lot of interesting things going on in the NBA, to be honest. The NBA is a crazy, crazy place right now.
Trade deadline.
So, trade deadline, All-Star break. This is when the NBA season pretty much really starts, in all honesty. And with that being said, Martin Luther King Day was had yesterday, which means that pretty much the NBA is in full swing. They had basketball on all day from 2:00 my time, Mountain Time, all the way up until the end of the night. Now, this is kind of brought up a lot of discussion. I mean, and mainly between a lot of circles that aren't just diehard NBA heads. People that watch other sports aside from the NBA, pretty much. Should the league look at adjusting its season, maybe, to shorten games or to, kind of take away load management, to also increase their viewings, since the NBA is one of the few leagues that's always complaining about viewings?
Okay, the NBA has already pondered the idea of shortening their season. And actually, they kind of made it longer by getting all the back-to-backs. I know when I was like a kid, I was like 7. The NBA opening night, Halloween night. It was always Halloween night, and it would go up until you would probably see the end of the season. Usually about at the end of February. That's usually what it used to be, and it would run a little bit longer. And now it's just gotten longer and stretched out. They've moved the start date back and everything like that. And now there's load management. And what hurts even more for these franchises in this league isn't the fact that they're not even getting the TV ratings, because they're always going to have those deals. They get the money. It's the fact that fans aren't buying tickets to go to these games because they're in fear that if they're a fan of a high-level team like the Clippers, for example, if you go to a Clippers game, you want to watch Kawhi and Paul George. They're the stars. If they sit, you're sitting there watching Lou Williams and Montrezl Harrell. While they're good basketball players, they're not the stars that you paid the $200-$300 tickets to go see.
Yeah.
Shortening the season, probably, I wouldn't go drastic. I do think that it's the great idea. From 82 games, personally, I would say to about 68 is what I would say. 68, 70. Because on average, these top 2 players, they sit out about 15 games. It's usually what it is. Kawhi's a little bit more strenuous. Paul George was dealing with an injury earlier in the season, so there's that. But you look at LeBron, AD, James Harden, Westbrook, even Damian Lillard, he sits out a few games every year. And speaking of MLK Day, 61 on that night. Yeah. Crazy game for him. MLK Day record for points. But yeah, I would just shorten the season, in all honesty. It makes the most sense.
Yeah, I feel like they need to shorten the season. So I'm one of those fans where, yes, I am a NBA fan. I am a basketball fan. I am not like, oh, it's the start of the NBA season, and the start of the NBA season is the same night as football. I guess I'm not watching football night. Like, that will never happen. If basketball and football are on at the same time, I'm watching football. You know, if basketball and a huge big pay-per-view event fight are on the same night, I'm watching that fight. You know, it is what it is. If regular season, I know this the playoffs for these two sports kind of bleed together, but if Stanley Cup Finals are on while regular season basketball is on, I'm not watching regular fucking season basketball. I'm gonna go watch the Stanley Cup Finals. You know, it just it is what it is. If there's something more entertaining, and that works in multiple different ways. You know, if regular season baseball is on, then I'm gonna go watch regular season basketball. You know, there's a million different ways we can split that up. You know, but you need to shorten the season so that you can get more ratings and get more ticket sales by putting your stars on the floor. 2, you can cut back on the load management business as is. 3, this whole traveling that the NBA goes through for an 82 game long season is strenuous and taxing on the players as is. You know, we look at a game last night, which we're going to talk about and break down, but like, LeBron didn't even take it serious. He went to go fucking watch his son play in a high school game before going to that game, like before going to his actual game. You know, there needs to be, you could probably take away maybe each NBA team plays 3 times a week versus, you know, they're playing 5 times out of a 7-day week. You know, break it up a little bit. Give some of these guys days off in between games. You know, maybe you get 2 days off in between a game, you know, or something or the other. I don't know. Make it better for the players so that us as the fans can find it more enjoyable. I don't even find basketball as a commentator fun for me to call until after the All-Star break, because that's when the players are really playing. You know, if you want to adjust your ratings, don't try and compete with football.
And I'm gonna agree with you. I love the NBA. It was my favorite sport. I always played basketball growing up. But I there's so many games, and this is what I was thinking about when you said that. There's 16 games for every team in an NFL season. The Stanley Cup, there's only one Stanley Cup every year. You look at, well, the MLB is even a more example of this. The more games that there are in a season, the more a fan feels like they don't have to watch because there's going to be more of those games that they can go on back and watch later. If you make the season shorter, it'll make the players value those games more, because one loss in the West, for example, like 2 years ago, or like for the past 2 or 3 years, the 8th seed would be decided by a tiebreaker or one game. But if you shorten the season, you're looking at a half a game, even more tiebreakers. You're looking at the 4th through 8th seed being separated by a game and a half. Makes everybody value the games more, and it'll make the fans value it.
Exactly. Like me, I don't value the baseball and NBA seasons the way that as a fan I should. You know, if the stakes were a lot higher, you know, for these teams, and you know the season was maybe a little bit shorter. Yeah, I need to watch what's happening with my Lakers. You know, I wouldn't feel the way that I'm about to feel. How we get into this next topic?
Hey,
go ahead.
I'm gonna keep it a buck. Up until about a month ago, I would probably say early December, I didn't look at any stats. I would get the updates on my phone. I maybe watched 2 or 3 games. I don't keep up with the NBA until this time, but the fact that I can come on here and talk about the NBA is because of my previous knowledge and how teams are going to keep up and everything like that. I'll pay attention to a player if they're having an insane season or if they're having an abnormal down year. But other than that, the NBA is pretty constant and consistent in a way that it's not the same for other sports.
NBA, you can't get mad at us, the fans. This is a system that you created. We're giving you the answers of how you can fix your ratings. Do something.
Don't rig drafts. That'll fix your ratings.
You said what? Don't rig drafts.
Don't rig drafts. Don't rig drafts, and then it'll fix your ratings.
It makes things more about the team, not necessarily always about the player. You know. Yes, the Rumboyz will be covering the XFL. Here, just give me 1 second so I can pause this really quick. Alrighty. So kind of getting in to our next topic, which honestly, in a way, this next topic that we're getting into, it flows right into what we were just talking about. So it's a nice segue here. It was a blowout in the Garden last night as my Lakers looked awful against the Celtics. Is this a reason to panic in LA or just another regular season game?
Blowouts happen. They just happen. And as you said, LeBron wasn't taking the game serious. LeBron, at this point in the regular season, probably isn't taking it serious at all. Real quick, let me look up the standings just to double check what the.
We're number one in the West, 34-9.
34-9, yeah. No reason to take this game that serious. Were there signs of concern? Yes. We've seen the turnover bug with the Lakers. We've seen them struggling with their bench. They're shooting. Kyle Kuzma looks atrocious. But in saying every team goes through a slump. It happens even more so with LeBron teams. We see them. But for example, the team that just beat you last night, going before last night, they lost 6 of their last 8. They were on a skid. They were great against defending against the paint, even though their bigs is probably what their issue we were going to point out. When you look at the Celtics team, they lack bigs. They're third in the league when it comes to shot attempts and points allowed in the restricted area. Mm-hmm. So down deep in the paint, they don't give up that many points. But then you go back to the 6 out of the last 8 skid. Now they are. I think they're bottom 20. Or no. They're like 20th, not bottom 20. So there's that skid. That's something I would be worried about. If you see that big transition from a strength of yours to a weakness, that's a situation where I'd be worried. But then they bounce back like this. It's just something that happens. There's no real reason to worry about it if you're a Lakers fan.
Yeah, I mean, me being a Lakers fan, I'm not worried about this, especially when you throw out 34-9. Like after last night, like before last night, we were what, like 34-8. You throw out 34-9, cool. Like we're fine. You tell me it's the regular season, whatevs. The only thing that really gets me as a Lakers fan is the team that we lost to, the Celtics, the rivalry, and that's really it. You know, everyone's like, oh well, Jaylen Brown slammed on LeBron. Dude, people get slammed on all the time. Do you not watch sports? Corners get caught on all the time, you know, like receivers get passes broken up all the time. We see this every day in sports, you know, so I don't want to use the whole, oh, well, I get that Jaylen Brown by any means shouldn't be dunking on LeBron. I mean, if you look at it, he didn't directly dunk on LeBron. LeBron got stuck between 2 of his own guys and was stuck down there. It was like, oh, fuck, well, I'm just kind of here. He was stuck between Anthony Davis and
okay. Listen.
It wasn't even up off the ground.
I know you're a Lakers fan. LeBron got boomed on. Just accept it, okay? It happens. It happens to everybody. Jaylen Brown's
not really. Not
Jaylen
really.
Brown's an athletic player. He rose up above him. It's whatever. It happens. Let's not make a big deal out of it. You trying to defend him makes it sound worse. Okay?
I'm not defending him, but we can all easily. We all have to have our fucking phones. It's 2020. We can all go on the internet and we can look and we can see. James didn't even go up and contest it. Like he was like 2 fucking feet off the ground, barely.
Yeah. He barely didn't jump. I'm not going to deny it. But
the 2 people that really went to go and contest it were the ones that did actually get dunked on. But because LeBron was standing in the vicinity, here's what we in the media do. We X out the fact that 2 people jumped in the way as well. And instead of saying Jaylen Brown actually dunked on 3 people,
we put LeBron.
Yeah, Yeah, no, I'm not. I'm not fucking doing that. I'm not being that fucking head that does that. Like, no, you
Yeah,
know.
no, I got you.
Also, the real what another thing that pissed me off about last night because of that one play. That's who we're giving the credit to. So we're just gonna X out every single thing that Jason Tatum did last night. So this is me now being unbiased, taking my fact and my love for my Lakers out of it. And as someone that actually commentated that game, that actually saw that game, there was one really truly unstoppable force on that floor that could not be touched. And that every time he had the ball, he was making a play happen. Whether it was him scoring or him getting the ball to someone to score. Jason Tatum is the real impact on last night's game. So I also want to put that out there because everyone has, oh, well, Kemba Walker finally got his one win over LeBron. Oh, Jaylen Brown with the dunk. What about what Jason Tatum did?
Jason Tatum had a great game. No one's denying that. It's the fact that you have this headline and it's a big play, so everybody's going to bring it up. And Jaylen Brown's just a big name right now. He's gone through some changes the past few years that have elevated him into an all-star discussion, in which Jason Tatum was in these discussions last year. Tatum jumped from 13 points, I think it's 5 rebounds and like 3 assists, to now he's averaging 26 and 5. Substantial numbers. Numbers you're talking about most improved player, but just because Devontae Graham is having such of a good year, you're not going to really look at him that much. And that's another headline that we can even bring up and relate this to. Jaylen Brown's having a most improved player caliber season easily. I compare it to Victor Oladipo's season a few years ago when he went to the Pacers. Instead of a change of scenery, it's a change of a roster, and you got an unselfish point guard instead of a selfish point guard. But it's the same thing.
I mean, I hear you. I hear you, and I feel you. Like I said, you gotta give props where due, and it annoyed me all morning seeing all of these headlines about the other two players on that roster and the player that on film that was really spreading the floor for them, moving the ball around, and really being a force. What was Tatum? Keeping it in the NBA and kind of keeping it towards yesterday. Kyrie had the audacity to align himself with civil rights leader Martin Luther King Jr. when speaking with the press. Is this just like another Kyrie Irving type of thing that he just does, like a world is flat? Or, I mean, do you really get what he was trying to say?
Quick question. When Kyrie had the face mask on, what was it for? Didn't he get hit upside the head?
Yeah, I think he got hit in the face.
Yeah. Does Kyrie Irving have CTE? Is he the first basketball player ever to have CTE?
I don't know. I think there might be another one that we're going to talk about later.
I mean, there's a case for it, man. He's acting like Antonio Brown. I swear, he's the Antonio Brown of the NBA. That's what Kyrie Irving is, and I can't stand it. There's no point for it. Why?
Like, was it just fresh on your mind because it was Martin Luther King Day? So, like out of anyone that you could have compared yourself to, that's who you chose. Like, that's what you chose to do. Kyrie does this type of thing all the time. Now, to add clarification, like he was trying to say that I guess the media talks down on him and talks shit about him, 24/7 around the clock, and and they were doing it even despite him not being on the court and being a factor in their last 7 games. So he came out and he said, they threw stones and they crucified, Martin Luther King Jr. Whenever you're great, someone's always gonna have something bad to say about you. So like what he was really trying to say was when you're doing big things, you're gonna have haters. That's what he wanted to say.
Okay.
Like you don't grab a leader.
Yeah, I got that. Yeah, you don't grab a guy who's so socially uplifted to the fact that he has a national holiday after him because of what he did in this nation.
Exactly. And you don't do that on their day.
Exactly. But also, let's keep this about sports real quick. Let's point this out, Kyrie Irving. You haven't played in months. You've played
Months.
in a handful of games. And in fact, in those handful of games that you've played, your team is worse when you are on the court than when you are on than when you were on it.
Yep.
You're this all-star caliber player, then why is your team worse when you're on the court? Why are you talking about you need help when you're the issue? Why are you bringing headlines to a team that's succeeding when you're not on the court? Why bring the drama when you're not doing anything that should warrant you bringing up the drama?
This is a typical Kyrie thing. Like I said when I was commentating the Nets game a couple of nights ago, this is Dinwiddie's team. This is now Spencer Dinwiddie's team. You know, Kyrie, I'm sorry. I mean, they're going to keep you around because they especially need to see what you're going to work with and what you're going to work like with when KD is back healthy. Because they at least got to give that a shot. But dude, stop being a distraction and stop trying to make everything about yourself. We know that you're great. We know that you can play. We know that you are one of the better guards in the league. You know, stop talking and just fucking play basketball, dude. Like, I'm not trying to pull the whole shut up and dribble thing right now, but
yeah,
when you do stupid things like this goes right in with your character, with the whole Earth is flat thing, and now this. Just stop saying stupid shit. Like, it's not like you're saying anything that's becoming a revolution to make people think and to make people woke. You know, you're not doing that. You're just saying stupid shit so that we have something to talk about and roast you later on.
if I'm a Brooklyn Net, I want out. If I'm Karis LeVert, if I'm Jared Allen, if I'm Spencer Dinwiddie, these guys who have careers ahead of them that are on long-term contracts. Let's not forget that Jared Allen just signed an extension. Karis LeVert signed an extension. Spencer Dinwiddie's on a contract for I think two or three more years. You have your bag. Get out. Like, get out. This isn't going to end well for you. I'm sorry. When your teammate Kyrie Irving, whether you're in Boston, I was reading an article the other day about Jaylen Brown, about how because of what Kyrie Irving did on that team, it literally gave Jaylen Brown anxiety and depression because Kyrie Irving was in that locker room. You know how bad of a teammate you have to be to give your own teammate a guy that you spend your free time with, a guy that you work with, a guy that you're supposed to uplift, to tear him down and cause him issues with his mental state. That's beyond me.
It's like I said, I felt like we had to bring it up, you know, just because, especially when I saw the clip, I was like, this dude really, like you could tell that he thought about it before he said it, and he knew he was like, oh, this is gonna stir up some shit right here. Kyrie, just stop with the mind games with people, bro. Speaking of mind games, speaking of mental health, this story here is actually really, really, really sad. Former NBA star Delonte West was seen out on the streets on the side of some highway. I believe it was Indian River Highway. I believe that is somewhere in the Northeast. Not exactly sure, but furthermore, Delonte West out on the streets. The video does not look good. To my knowledge, there is something being done by his former college coach to see if there could be help done or fundraising done. Is this a concern? I mean, I understand that Delonte West had the relationship with LeBron's mom, and I mean he was a very big charismatic personality in the locker room, fighting teammates, fighting on the floor. We know that he does suffer from depression and bipolar, so on and so forth. Should the NBA reach out and do something? We don't usually see NBA players in this this hole. We usually in this rut. We usually see this out of the NFL and such.
I mean, it's a professional athlete who had money, stature, and he was known. this kind of affirms what I was thinking from beforehand when he was in the league and whenever his shenanigans were going on. I thought he was a user. I know I mean, you can just look at him and tell. No offense, Delonte West, good player, solid career. I wish the best for you, but you look like a drug addict, man. Before you even on the street, and I hope you get help. I wish the best for you. And I know after what you said about LeBron's mom and how he probably has a deep hatred for you in his heart, I hope he helps you because he has that ability too. It's sad to see this happens with athletes all the time. I wish the best for him, and it's good to see that there's so many athletes that find their right path. But for every right, there's always a wrong.
Yeah, I feel like we're starting to see this, and this is starting to become something that lately in our society is also norm. You know, with the whole Hernandez documentaries coming out, you know, AB going crazy now. He has a freaking battery case outside of his home right now, like literally as we're recording this.
I'm gonna look that up.
Yeah, dude, it's pretty crazy. I tried to stay off of Instagram while doing this segment, so we didn't get any details. But and now like this just all this sort of behavior is becoming far too prevalent. We need to have better. We need to have ways that when these athletes come into these leagues, you would think that the money alone would take them out of. We would take them out of their past and would take them out of their upbringings and what they but that does not happen. Money doesn't change people. Sometimes it does, and sometimes it doesn't. And unfortunately, in his scenario, it seems that he's pissed away all of his money. He's getting into street fights. He's on drugs. He's out there on a corner, damn near hoboed out. I hope that Delonte West gets the help that he deserves. NBA, I don't necessarily know what you could do for this man because you had already given him a dream job in playing in the NBA. Sucks.
So I just looked up the Antonio Brown situation. It's a little bit worse than we thought.
You can touch on that here. Let's go ahead.
So basically, Antonio Brown is being accused of battery and burglary. Cops are working on his arrest warrant now.
Didn't he just hold on? Wait. Didn't he just go on Instagram Live last week and say that the baby moms
tried to steal his stuff? And now he's getting charged with burglary.
Dude, this dude is so ironic. Like he is.
Hey, only Antonio Clown. Only.
Dude, oh my gosh. Did he post this on Instagram Live as well? Let me go to his account really quick. I'm gonna check this really quick while we're here on air. As many of you know, I was definitely in his Instagram Live during the last incident, and I was trying to tell him to stop and keep it down, but he kept going. Uh-oh. I am not thinking that I'm not finding his account. Oh, there it is. Don't worry, we found it. So nothing on Insta. He has not gone live. So it appears.
Ruh-roh.
He has done a lot of promo.
You know what okay, in all honesty, you know what I think this means? We've seen Antonio Brown with the girl and how he was recording the whole situation and there was cops involved and everything like that. The fact that he's not live right now makes me want to think that this one actually has some substance to it.
Yep.
And that he's actually scared.
I'm thinking, if he's not recording his antics right now, ladies and gentlemen, this could be the end of AB. He could be getting ready to get
hey, treats right.
what?
Vontez Perfect ruined this man.
Oh yes. Oh yes. From one person that is clearly dealing with brain damage to a sport where people get brain damage all the time, the UFC. Jorge Masvidal, aka the bad motherfucker, stated that he'd love to fight or Kamaru Usman yesterday on Errol Hawani's show. Do you think that he should take on either one of those fights? How do you feel about Masvidal calling out his next opponent? Well, not really calling him out, but saying who he want next.
I know we didn't see much of McGregor. It was 40 seconds. It was 40 seconds. That's it. But like Dana White said, he looked fast. He looked energetic. He looked like he was ready. He looked great at 170. And I want to see it. I want to see Masvidal go at McGregor. McGregor's always talking the most. He wants the big fights. He knows he's the money fight.
I agree. Dana White, if Dana White is smart, we know I'm a businessman. Makes sense, right? And if I'm Dana White, I'm trying to think of what's going to make me the most money possible. Me trying to resell a McGregor Khabib 2, I don't think that's going to make me as much money as I go, hey, we're going to try and make you the BMF now. You're going to fight Masvidal, and then the baddest motherfucker out of that fight then has to fight Khabib. You know, if you're going to do a Khabib McGregor 2, and then if Khabib beats McGregor again, that has tarnished McGregor's legacy. You cannot sell the name Conor McGregor ever again after that. You know, it's ruined. It's ruined at that point. Masvidal has been holding down the sport since McGregor has been gone. And actually, we can pair in our other question as well. You already kind of in a way stated it. 40 seconds, that 40-second knockout, do you feel that the king is back by any means?
He looked fast. He looked twitchy. He looked energetic, like I already said. But it was funny because McGregor went into his press conference and he said he wants a long fight. He wants to drag it out. He wants to push his body to a limit that he knows that, let's go back to probably his biggest fight, Mayweather. And Mayweather pushed him to because he got tired when he was boxing because it's longer. And with Masvidal, I think that the fight would go long. If both of them stay up, it's going to be a long, drawn-out fight, and it'll probably go the full run. That's what concerns me. If it's not a round 1, round 2 thing, it'll probably go all 5 rounds. And I think McGregor might want to get another fight in before that. But it's also Conor McGregor. And you know what? When he shows up, he puts his nuts on the table and he lets him hang.
That is true. That is true. He steps into the arena big boss man status.
So, I mean, I would love to see this fight, UFC 250. Big card, big name, 250. It's a quarter of what's 1,000 years? Or what's a quarter of 1,000? I don't even know. I don't even know. It's something. It's a big number to recognize. It'd go down in the history books as one of the biggest fights we've ever seen. I'd love to see it.
I definitely want to see it. Like I said, if I'm Dana White, let's go ahead and let's hurry up and let's book this Masvidal McGregor fight. At least like even if Masvidal beats McGregor, you know, it's not a belt. There's not a championship on the line. I mean, there's a BMF belt, but that's a made up belt, you know. So I gotta say, let these two bang it out. These are the baddest men in the sport. They try to hype up Diaz as if he was one of the baddest men in the sport. Don't get me wrong, he is, but not as bad as Masvidal.
Connor Burke in the chat. 5 seconds over 40 seconds.
Oh my!
No, you know what you should put? 13 seconds over 40 seconds because he knocked out Aldo in 13 and Cerrone in 40.
40, yep. and yep, but Masvidal had that knockout against Askren in 5. So that's what we're talking about. Yeah. So I mean, I want to see this. Both these people, both these guys, they in fights quick, they in fights fast in a hurry. But both these guys are hell of an athlete. They can both take hits. We need to see it. I feel that the King is not back off of a 40-second, gasser, off of a 40-second fight against Cerrone. So my take on the King being back is a no-go. And we need to see Masvidal versus McGregor. We need to see McGregor, now that we got that fight out the way, and say, okay, cool, you're back, and all the McGregor fangirls are back on the bandwagon. He needs to go up against a real opponent. As far as Masvidal fighting Usman, not sure if I'm ready for that yet. I don't think that's going to sell the tickets yet. Just because Usman Covington was kind of hard to sell. They had to go into politics in order to sell that fight and shit like that. I just don't think that's going to go the same way. But yeah. Damn good show today, bro.
Yeah.
Got anything else you want to add in here at the last minute?
No, honestly, I'm good. Just look for me, Rumboyz.com. I'm starting up a new series today. I don't know if the article is going to come out tonight, but basically what I'm going to be doing is starting with the Bengals. I'm going to start out their offseason from today. Basically looking at their offseason and what they need to do. It'll be as if I'm their GM, I'll be doing it with all 32 teams. There'll be trades, there'll be cuts, there'll be signings, basically creating my ideal universe for each and every team. And that's what I would do if I was their GM, and it'll give everybody an insight on what their team could possibly do. It'll have their cap space, what I would do with it, possible moves that they could make, and it'll be really in depth, and I think it's going to be pretty good.
I like it. I like it a lot. Let's see here. As for myself, you guys already know, hit me up on rumboyz.com. Hit me up on Twitter at Rumboyz, spelled the Z-N-E-T. Instagram, same thing, at Rumboyz, spelled the Z-N-E-T. Facebook, Rumboyz Fantasy Network. Make sure you guys give us a like on our Facebook page if you haven't already. New episode of the Rum Report will drop Thursday evening, so we'll have a new episode of the Rum Report Thursday. Friday nights, make sure you hop in with me and the rest of the crew.
I'll be back this week.
Dark. What's up?
I'll be back this week.
Yep, Jordan Love will be back on the panel this week, and yeah, we're gonna do some. We're gonna do some trivia. We're gonna do some trivia tonight. So if you guys are gonna be listening to this audio cast later on, subscribe to our YouTube channel and check us out for sports trivia as well. And also download the Sportscaster app. Other than that, we greatly appreciate each and every single one of you for joining in and listening today. Cheers to me. Cheers to you. All the Rum boys and girls, what it do? Dilly dilly. Get out of here. Ta-da!